What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Yard G2A Festival here on the Yard Fest channel. It's going to be a best of three between Power Rangers and 4ASC, which coincidentally, though they've been around for a long time, I've never actually had the good fortune of casting, so it should be pretty interesting. And as promised, guys, the overlays are already messed up, so I'm going to do my best to try to fix that on the fly. But for right now, I'm Mikelorus. I'm going to be joined by Danelie for this best of three. Hope you're up for some European action. Nice change of pace from that C games from before.
Yeah, it's I'm gonna be honest, it's culture shock for me. What's European Dota? It's completely different to Southeast Asian stuff, but don't worry, Mike, I'll keep them busy while you get those overlays fixed. It's all right. I'm here for you.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
It's all right. So we'll just jump straight into our picks and bans for the moment. We're gonna have an Axe ban coming up from 4AC, whereas Power Rangers, they're gonna go for the standard stuff with the Bat Rider and the Troll Warlord. If we're going to go through the normal route, we're probably going to see a sniper ban coming up from 4AC, unless they're going to go for a niche ban to prevent Power Rangers from going after something. But no, it will be our pesky little dwarven sniper. Ooh, Power Rangers, they're going to snag themselves a Wisp as their first pickup. This is pretty typical in European Dota, from what I've known anyway. They love their Wisps. They love their niche heroes. Magnus, so surprisingly enough, going to go on the way of 4AC, and they're going to combo it up with the Juggernaut. So already we've got some synergy between these two heroes. The Magnus and Power is really going to power up that Juggernaut.
Oh, for sure. That's one of the most dangerous combos, in my opinion, as far as Magnuses are concerned. You could partner him up with a Slark, and that could usually get a little bit of traction, but Juggernaut Mag, well, first of all, Juggernaut is Juggernaut. He's going to be an absolute beast in most games. And then when you have that cleave, whoever is going to be relocating in with the IO has got to watch themselves. They're going to be relocating into an absolute nightmare scenario of Omni Slashes and RPs to start things off. Like, things get even worse if 4SC grab a Lena or something like that as their third pick. But for right now, Power Rangers going to grab a fairly early Storm Spirit. I guess the downside of 4SC opening up with a pretty nice DPS combo and Juggernaut Mag is that they are inherently going to be a little light on CC. Randomly throwing out an RP on Storm Spirit, sometimes it'll connect, other times it'll completely whiff, and you'll feel pretty embarrassed that you even threw it out in the first place.
Yeah, but keep in mind though, Magnus is going to be so good up against this Wisp, because obviously the Wisp is going to be tethered to somebody. They cannot separate themselves too far, otherwise they will get caught. So, well, sorry, they won't get caught, but they'll be separated. Whereas with this Magnus, it'll definitely keep the IO and his partner together. But then again, what's Power Rangers going to put with this Magnus? Power Rangers themselves banned out the Tiny, which I find a little bit surprising. I thought they would have gone for the Tiny themselves. Maybe it was a little bit too obvious. So they're going to go for something a little bit different this game. Sometimes you see Bristleback IO. You don't really want to put the IO with the Storm Spirit, because Storm already has the Ball Lightning. He already has a way to get in and out of the fights. What other heroes do we typically see with the Wisp? We get a Bristleback ban, so no Bristleback.
Yeah, usually it's going to be that Bristleback, and if not that, then it's going to be the Tiny. And then after that, I mean, Juggernaut is an okay combination, but that pool of heroes that the IO is usually partnered up with, it's very quickly running out for Power Rangers. IO Storm Spirit is a decent combination, just giving Storm Spirit some insane split pushing power, first of all. But also, as far as rejoining fights, Storm Spirit does have a pretty decent impact once he arrives into those fights. You arrive with ideally full mana pool, and then you're good to go. But I'm always hoping that there's going to be a Chaos Knight. And
Oh yeah.
I don't know if that's going to happen this game, but I could hope. Maybe.
You can hope. You can pray every night. I actually hope to see a Chaos Knight. We just don't see him anymore. But then again, though, I kind of feel like this is not going to be the best Chaos Knight game, because they're going to be going up against a Magnus and a Juggernaut. And the cleave on the Jug means that if Jug ever gets that big compared to the Chaos Knight, yes, Chaos Knight can have illusions, but they're going to be broken down so quickly by the cleave. So, to be honest, Mike, I probably don't think this is the best CK game.
Yeah.
How about a Sven, though? I have seen some Sven Wisps.
Yeah, that's a pretty decent combo as well. Sven is rather uncommon, and usually teams, if they have the choice, would rather go for one of the aforementioned heroes. But Sven could definitely get the job done, especially if Power Rangers find themselves a little bit stun light. Right now, they have a Storm Spirit pull, and that's about it, so maybe they're going to end up in a very stun light scenario, in which case a core with the stun can get a lot of work, and I have seen Power Rangers in the past run with that combo. So that is a very real possibility. Night Stalker, Lion going to be the final bans out, and 4SC, they're going to grab Avenge.
Yeah, so pretty safe pick, pretty standard support pick as well. They can be pretty aggressive and defensive with the Nether Swap. They've got a stun now as well for one of their supports, and they also have the Wave of Terror, which means that an early Roshan is definitely a possibility for 4ASC. So that's going to be where Power Rangers, they're going to have to keep that Roshan consistently watered up, and they have to keep an eye on that Rosh. They cannot afford to give an early Aegis to 4ASC, just because if you give an early Aegis, that means that they're going to have a lot of chances to go for those towers, to even push up high ground if they are ahead of Power Rangers. Although this is where Power Rangers, as their job, they have to keep the aggression up. They just cannot stop. They cannot have a break because they're running a Wisp. Yes, they could probably try and go for the incredibly late game, but let's not even go that far, because if you're going to go into this super late game, you're going up against that Mag. There's that Jug. You don't even know what those other two heroes are going to be for 4ASC, so it could be a rocky start for Power Rangers. If Power Rangers doesn't go for a super late game carry with the Wisp, what are some mid game carries that could benefit from a Wisp, just with the constant regen as well as the sustain that a Wisp does bring?
Well, I think Sven is probably like one of the few in the pool that is actually still viable at all as a nice Wisp combo. Like, if they were planning on going for a super late game strategy, then they would be fine if they were able to grab a Tiny. Just because Juggernaut is just brick-walled by craggy exterior. He will eventually get a BKB, but once that runs down, then it's only 5 seconds where the Juggernaut has to freely right-click the Tiny, and in that 5 seconds, even though the Juggernaut may be empowered, it's generally not going to be enough in order to actually kill off the Tiny. But seeing as though that's not an option, Power Rangers don't really have many immense IO partners that will, firmly have control over the late game. So it's going to be a tree first for Power Rangers. And that's fine. 4ASC don't have any great way of burning through that, exception being that spin from the Juggernaut, but that's not always going to be available to whoever's going to be playing that for 4ASC. Power Rangers going really, really defensive with their support, so it looks like they may just end up going for a super late game type of strategy. And in that case, you could get a less than ideal partner for the IO and grab someone like a Medusa, hell, even a Phantom Assassin, but ho-ho, it's a Tusk for 4ASC.
I'm going to go out on a limb here. We may not. We may see an Ursa. Do you remember the Wisp Ursa that came? Not from Power Rangers, but do you remember the age where Wisp Ursa was a thing?
Oh yeah, of course.
I could definitely see an Ursa this game. Because if you look at 4AC, yes, they've got a lot of control, but you've got 3 melee heroes, and the Tusk, is this Tusk going to be the offlane Tusk, or do you think this is going to be a position 4 Tusk?
It's usually a support, heavy roaming type Tusk. This is looking like a weird draft from Power Rangers. I no longer have any idea what's going on. We've been seeing a little bit more offlane Enigma lately, although it's still not actually common. Is this a core Treant? That's, I suppose, another way to go. Is IO Treant actually a thing? It doesn't seem like it should be. Just relocating in a giant tree. If he's like 6-slotted, yeah, he's going to beat down some people, but otherwise he doesn't actually do that much, especially when you're going to have to try to fight through swaps, stuns, a whole lot of stuns, healing ward, and a snowball. Not to mention the frozen sigil later on. So this is an awkward draft for Power Rangers. A lot of team fight perhaps, but who is this IO going to go with? Why isn't this IO partnered up yet?
No, I think this is going to be a last pick partner, and this is going to be a very uncharacteristic partner. Sven will be banned out, so no, Sven, no!
CK one time.
Why you do this?
Please,
it could be CK. It could be CK. So we've got a couple of options. We've got CK, we've got PA, and we have Ursa. So we could even go for something a little bit more different.
They could go for Medusa and just have IO back her up in the super late stages, and then just... when you relocate in with the Medusa, you're not going to have an immediate impact. It's just not going to happen until you're 6-slotted, in which case the utility you get out of the hero, IO, Medusa, and Storm Spirit, all with semi-global, if not complete global mobility, will really put the pressure to 4ASC. It's Sven and Beastmaster to be banned out as 4ASC, most likely looking for their offlaner right now. Up against the CC Light lineup of Power Rangers, I'm thinking Phoenix is pretty good for them.
Yeah, Phoenix is definitely going to be an option if they want to go in that direction. And also, if you look at Power Rangers, they want to try and go into as many team fights as possible. Actually, they're going to round it out with the Marana. Support Marana? Offlane Tusk? I guess it could be an offlane Mirana as well, just because she has the leap as well. And because, like you mentioned, there's not many disables on the side of Power Rangers, so you can definitely get away with this offlane Mirana.
Yeah, Juggernaut, Magnus, Mirana, all fairly independent heroes, and that's what 4SC really wanted. When you go for a Tusk pick, in general, you're going to be playing things pretty aggressively. Tusk combined with a Vengeful Spirit, and no response from the Power Rangers. Like, there's no Shaker or Sankey on the Power Rangers, who usually would just throw their stun as soon as the snowball pops, and then your snowball gank is failed. Power Rangers don't really have that. They'll have a black hole later, but that's much later. So 4SC will be able to roam very aggressively wherever they want, even into the enemy jungle, if need be, and the lanes won't really take a toll because of that. So this is actually a pretty sweet draft from 4ASC. The Tusk fits pretty well in, and maybe Empower, Tusk, Walrus Punch could take some heads later on. That's probably also going to be a dream, but for 4ASC, they have a little bit of late game with the Juggernaut and the Mirana. It's pretty well split up for them, and as long as they avoid this team fight from Power Rangers, they should be good to go. Power Rangers team fight, I mean, it's Black Holes, Overgrowth. It's not super strong. It's just really their strongest point at this stage. Oh.
Ooh. Man, I was so excited for something different. No, we get the Morphling. But still, Morphling's a pretty good Wisp partner as well. Morphling does quite a bit of damage. I guess with the waveform, that's all the damage a Morphling really brings. But it's okay. It's still a decent Wisp partner, and it's also going to give Power Rangers some late game potential. So yeah. I'm not against this Morphling.
It's fine as far as the heroes that were still in the pool. Like, you want to have a range hero versus a Magnus ideally, just so that you don't always get hit with that RP. The chat is questioning why ban out the Tiny. I'm still questioning that as well.
I know.
If you replace the Morphling with the Tiny, then Power Rangers would have an amazing late game draft. Like, they would just be able to backdoor for ASC to death if need be, but take them in man fights as well. I don't want to say it's just a drafting error, like a mechanical oops, I clicked the wrong button error, but it definitely kind of seems like it. I like 4ASC's draft a lot more than Power Rangers. Whoa, okay, it's a buyback. Okay. It's not a buyback, it's a disconnect.
Okay, yep, alright.
It's not a buyback at all. Okay, I'm just gonna hop over to some sort of screen. Or am I? No, I'm not. Let's just go in. Let's just go in. Everyone can see the insides of the lobby. It's fine. But yeah, Morphling as the last pick, ideally would get a shotgun and then would be pretty resistant to most of the threats of 4ASC. They're predominantly physical for ASC, but it means minus armor from the Venge is going to be huge and stuff like that. But once you do go in that ethereal form, nothing's going to touch you.
Yeah, so with the Morphling pick, I have nothing against it. I kind of feel like Power Rangers, they're trying to bite on the idea that their Morphling is going to get enough farm for a very early E-Blade, and they're going to go around for those very easy relocate ganks at the Storm. That's the kind of idea that I'm picking up with their draft. And if a team fight happens, then they can fall back onto their Enigma. They can fall back onto, I forgot what their other hero was because I can't say the draft. So, the Treant Protector. Sorry, Treant Protector, yes. So, they also have the Treant Protector Overgrowth. So, it's like Power Rangers. They want to have small skirmishes, and if it comes into a big fight, they have Black Hole and Overgrowth, whereas for ASC, their draft is so more well-rounded. They can do anything. They can roam, they can be passive and farm up until they get their core items and then go for pushes. They can just go as a 5-man squad and gank. So, I don't know, I feel like for ASC, they've just got so much more going for them, whereas Power Rangers, they just got that one objective.
Yeah, I gotta agree. And how are these lanes from Power Rangers going to work out? Like, Io, Morphling, who's going to be playing support? Is Enigma in the jungle? Is it going to be like an offlane Tree, offlane Enigma? Storm is most likely going to go mid unless they want to run like a dual lane mid. And I guess in that regard, they have a little bit of flexibility, Power Rangers, but not that much. Like, someone is going to have to farm up, and Treant Protector getting farm, as nice as it is by no means guaranteed up against the lanes from 4ASC. So how are these lanes actually going to work out for Power Rangers? I don't really see a great way of them actually working out.
Yeah, it's different, but we'll see if they can make it function. We've seen teams make awkward drafts work. We've also seen teams make awkward drafts not work. So we'll see. It's going to rest on the back of how Power Rangers executes the draft.
All right, guys, I'm just going to cut back to the wait screen since it seems like the Russian caster got lost in between the last lobby and this one. So we'll be right back for the real game once the all-pick stuff is settled on. So we'll be right back, guys. Alright guys, we are back after remaking with all pick, and well, we have a pause so we could actually get maybe a little bit more of a read on who is going to be playing what in this game 1. It is a game 1 of a best of 3, guys, so this is going to be a fairly low stakes game as far as the games come. But for the 4ASC side, we're going to be having Trixie on the Mirana, Boogie is on the Tusk with Matubaman on the Juggernaut, Nemphy's going to be following up as the Mag that leaves Kara on the Vengeful Spirit.
On the side of Power Rangers, in our off lane, we have Joker playing on the Enigma. Towards the middle lane, we have... Okay, I don't know who this is. I got this one on the Morph lane. On our Wisp, we've got King... Do you actually know the names for some of these
King
players?
King is actually real. Shochlo is actually real in the Storm. Unnamed is... Well, I guess he's unnamed. But yeah, keep in mind, guys, that the ticket is being held. Oh wait, Snowball in. 4ASC have a 5-man Snowball coming hot into Shochlo. They'll lock him down with the stun, then beat him down. 5 heroes, so very close to anyone, and that's going to be a kill. And somehow in the midst of that, Juggernaut grabs the last hit. I don't know how that happened, but 4ASC start things off right with this Tusk. Oh man, I was just about to say that the ticket isn't quite yet in Dota yet because Valve is lazy, but hopefully all these names will be settled by the time this ticket comes out. Then their official names are going to be forced, but early first blood for ASC, really setting the tone for this Tusk play.
Yeah, so we already see the threat of this Tusk, and that Snowball, holy Jesus, that was just a giant ball of death, and, well, Storm Spirit, Shochlo, not too happy about that. So unfortunately, he's going to give away first blood, but we're back to the laning stage. So we're not really back to square one. PR, they're on a slight disadvantage just because everyone on 4ASC, they managed to get a little bit of EXP. They all got 25 EXP actually, so they're going to be a tiny step ahead of Power Rangers, but it's not that massive. I guess the bounty going in the way of Matumba on the Juggernaut would be the biggest hit to them because it means that he's going to get his items a little bit quicker. But for the moment, we're going to have a tri-lane versus tri-lane scenario for ASC. They've got their 2 supports, the Tusk as well as the Vengeful Spirit, trying to zone out Shochlo as well as the Wisp and the Tree. So for the moment, Matumbaman's getting most of the farm. So that's some good news for 4ASC if they didn't want any more. But this is the best scenario that they're actually getting. But Shochlo, though, they put this Storm Spirit in the safe lane to get farm. But when you're being aggressive tri-laned, it's not the situation that you really ask for.
And their tri-lane is pretty much outmatched in every single way. Once 4ASC decide that, hey, we're just going to go ahead and snowball Shochlo again, what can the Power Rangers heroes do about this? Their IO is almost at the bottle. It's actually on the courier right now with 2 bottles coming out. That'll help out a little bit. Unnamed will be able to throw a Leech Seed to slow someone down, maybe get a little bit of extra HP into the Storm Spirit, but really they don't have any stuns. They don't have that fissure that they really need to help disengage from that situation. So 4ASC have the threat of kills, whereas for Power Rangers, their kill potential is more or less nil unless 4ASC really mess up with their engage. So this lane is going to be completely locked down for the Dire side, and Storm Spirit, he said, is not going to be getting any farm in this lane, bottle on IO or not. IO and Tree are really not the heroes that you want to have in a tri-lane.
Yeah, it's a defensive tri-lane though, so the best they can really do is just keep Shochlo alive on the Storm Spirit. They've got a lot of defensive capabilities, but if the Wisp isn't there, they're not going to really have the bottle charges to save him, unfortunately. So Wisp, he's going to head back down to his teammates, try and keep him alive. Actually, he's just going to hang around. I think, not too sure what King R wants to do. He's kind of hesitating as to whether he wants to go bottom or top. But for the moment, we have Biggie as well as Kira. They want to try and go for another kill onto Shochlo. They're behind the tree line. They should be able to get him though if Shochlo sits on this section of the tree line, but he's going to be defensive, just going to sit next to the tower, so a little bit less kill potential, but not completely lost. They're thinking about it, but they're not going to quite go as of yet.
I would like to see Matubaman grab another point in Blade Fury. Maybe it's not that great versus the Storm Spirit when he gets the ball lightning up, but until that happens, it's very easy kills. I'm actually very surprised that 4SC haven't gone for this dive. Shochlo doesn't have any help here. Maybe they figured that IO potentially can be nearby, but I think they got a read and figured out that the IO is somewhere else. He's in fact stacking, or trying to stack for the Morphling later on, or for someone on the Power Ranger side later on, but no, these 2 supports are just chilling. Even though they're both level 2, they have the shards, they have the snowball, and a little bit of minus armor to boot. These are just free kills right now for 4ASC, but Boogie is just not pulling the trigger just yet. I know as soon as I go to a different lane, though, they're going to snowball in, so I just can't leave. But over towards mid, looks like the Magnus and Morphling are drawing fairly evenly with one another. That's pretty much to be expected, though. Morphling isn't really a laning powerhouse. The Magnus is not either, so Shard's actually going to catch Unnamed. He'll try to eat his way through the trees. Actually, they know Shard's blocking them in, so that they are blocking them out, rather, so that even though the Tree Protector can't go anywhere, the 4SC side can't go in that little corner either. So it is going to be just a failed Shards there and minor damage being applied to the tree. And now the IO has re-arrived to this lane. A little bit more defensive power, but 4SC missed a pretty big window of opportunity there to get a pretty easy kill.
Yeah, the ice shards literally were just a little bit of a cradle around the tree. So it was just kind of sitting in there thinking, oh, thank God I'm in here. Thank God I'm not out there. So luckily, no kill for Power Rangers. Unfortunately for 4ASC, they miss out on that kill. But they've got plenty more opportunities as this game goes. But they would rather grab all these kills early to shut down some of these heroes. Even if it's just on the supports, you're denying them levels, you're leaving the lane exposed, and that means Sasha should not feel safe. But because they haven't died yet, and because they know that some of these heroes, they're a little underleveled in this tri-lane, and because they have everyone here, Power Rangers feeling a little bit more confident. I missed a kill though. Trixie managing to get a solo kill onto Joker, so good plays on the Mirana. That was a arrow as well, so that was an arrow leap.
Bottom. Dacho finally going to get jumped upon. Here's the IO to try to help out. The spin is there. Mirana's Moonlight Shadow going to help for ASC disengage if need be. Snowball that's still spinning. Dacho's going to die. Unnamed trying to kill off Kira in the meantime, but the Moonlight Shadow now going to kick in. And the Storm Spirit gone down, and 4ASC get away with everyone. Yes, they all drop very low, but they're all still alive. That top lane kill, Mirana and the Enigma were dancing for quite a long time. Level 3 Starstorm and Mirana, not with any phase boots or anything like that, yet still somehow able to kill off the Enigma. She is falling behind the Enigma, and that's to be expected. Mirana, not a powerful laner, and Enigma in a 1v1 scenario like this is going to do just fine, but that death is going to set the Enigma back by quite the margin.
Yeah, and also I think that gave that gave Trixie the point into the Moonlight Shadow as well to get the solo kill, so that's what really saved those two supports down the bottom lane, because they felt confident once the Moonlight Shadow was up. Once they've got the kill, they just back up. There's no detection on the side of Power Rangers, because if you think about it, you won't really get detection this early, but Black Hole committed onto Trixie up top, but they won't quite get it. Never mind, he does get picked off by the Maleficent, so nice play there from Joker. Counter kill on the Enigma. That's going to be quite a pick for him. Down bottom there, I think there was going to be a jump, but not quite yet. Boogie's still hanging around the tree line. He's thinking about it, but he needs his support there with him.
Alright, they're just going to grab the rune for themselves and just be happy with that. They're still not shutting down this Juggernaut from farming. Storm Spirit, only with 9 CS, is almost level 4, which is, I guess, nice, but the Juggernaut's Omnislash is going to be up a lot sooner than the Storm Spirit's Ball Lightning if this lane progresses as it has been. So Shachlo is not going to have a great Storm Spirit game, and a Storm Spirit that's underleveled is always going to be bad, but a Storm Spirit that's underleveled in this type of team comp for Power Rangers is just going to be abysmal. Like, what could he actually do? Not much, yet his team needs him to be doing so much, because support Treant, support Io, these are very all-in type heroes, and who are you going to go all-in on? Maybe the Morphling could use some help. The Morphling isn't even dominating his lane, so this is really a problem for Power Rangers. They need more power on this bottom lane, but they just don't have it because of their kind of awkward draft. They're going to be forced to let Matuva farm, and now the snowball is in on Shacho. Living Armor, Bottle, but now Shacho's caught in the shards pretty well this time. Spin is going to be a little bit late, but it still will get a lot of damage onto the Storm Spirit. Bottle is keeping him alive for right now, and it looks like they'll keep Shacho alive and turn things around onto Kira. Lots of damage with the Wisp Balls. Venge is going to die if one of them hits her, and she will go down. Somehow Power Rangers turn things around for a kill. That IO regen with 3 bottle charges being pumped into Shacho gave him just enough to survive that.
Yeah, and the overcharge as well. So for the 5%, the negative 5% incoming damage reduction really working in favor of the Storm Spirit. So already we see the power of the Wisp. So commends to King R for keeping up Shacho alive. His bottle's empty this time though, so if 4ASC wants to try and jump onto the Storm again, they most certainly can, because Shacho is still nowhere near that level 6. Although I think we're going to have a little sneaky play here from our Morphling in the mid lane. Double damage rune, hiding in the tree lane. He's waiting for Nymphy to come out. So he will reveal himself. He's got the waveform available, but he's just going to go with the skewer out, so he's safe and sound.
Morphling is doing just fine in this lane. Arrow is almost going to connect onto the Morph. However, it will not necessarily be there. Now Trixie in a little bit of trouble. Maleficent stun's going to run out. No Black Hole in the Enigma this time. and Trixie will Moonlight Shadow out of there. This is going to scare Power Rangers bottom lane by quite a bit. They know that the Moonlight Shadow is out there, for they don't know where the Tusk and Venge are, and Tusk and Venge, they're right around the corner, but even with 2 kills right now, Boogie and Kara haven't really been applying as much pressure as I really would expect. It is difficult to go for the Morphling kills, but they're not really brawling as much as I would want this Tusk to be brawling, and Eventual Spirit as well, so maybe limited impacts on these supports, whereas for Power Rangers, their supports are now starting to get some pulls going. Level 4 on the IO, he's well on his way towards that relocate level, but down towards bottom, there's a Magic Missile onto Unnamed, but the Omni Slash, their treant didn't last very long at all. No time for bottles that time. And it's going to be a killing spree for the Jug. Now a 3-man, no, just 2-man snowball straight into King R. Io caught in a corner, doesn't have a tether out, but Kira dropping very low very quickly because Shosh, has a lot of damage output right now. He'll kill off the Vengeful Spirit. Boogie also taking tower shots. Will be a double for Shosh, though. And for ASC, throwing away this bottom lane that, by all rights, they should be winning.
Yeah, a bit of an overextension there. They wanted to grab King R, but because he already climbed all the way through the tree line, that means that the 2 supports that went in there, they were going to be exposed. And obviously the Venge, the much squishier target and the much easier target to take down. Easy kill for Sasha. He is almost level 6 now because of those 2 kills, as well as the Wisp. Wisp is actually close to level 6 as well. He just needs roughly a full bar of EXP to get there. But all of a sudden, this bottom lane for Power Rangers, it's not looking as bad anymore. And if you take into consideration that their off lane and their mid lane hasn't been lost, they've been pretty even, if not ahead, it's looking pretty good for Power Rangers. I can definitely see them starting to roll this draft.
Yeah, 4SC's Mirana hasn't really kicked into gear yet, and really you would want Trixie to be in full gear right now. She's going to get a little bit of help from Kira and the Tusk. Joker has living armor up. Starstorm will destroy the Enigma's HP pool, though. And finally, Kira and Boogie get a little bit of action outside of this bottom lane. But because they left this bottom lane, suddenly Shochlo is feeling pretty frisky. He's going to force him to man off the lane. And that's the problem with the solo off-lane Juggernaut. He just doesn't do that much, Mask of Madness or not. So 4-5 right now. And Power Rangers doing a lot better than we really expected. Granted, their mag on 4SC Nemphy now does have a bottle. Or not a bottle, a Blink Dagger, my god. He's had his bottle for quite a long time. But Blink Dagger's up on the mag. And that can lead to some pretty interesting situations for Power Rangers where their tree and their IO need so desperately to keep their spacing so that they don't get caught in RP. They need to be the ones to offer the sustain to whoever is hit with a Skewer RP combo.
Yeah, if you think though, the Tree and Protect doesn't really have to be in the fight up until he's got that point into Overgrowth, but then again, he still doesn't even have to be the one to initiate. He can just sit in the back lines, just go into the Nature's Guides around those trees, just sneak into the middle of the fight and go for the Overgrowth that way. He doesn't need to show himself. He can play pretty sneaky. He can play not so greedy. He can just kind of sit back for his team and just be that kind of backup here in case anything does go wrong. So for the moment, Tree, yeah, he doesn't have to go into the front lines. The Wisp, though, yeah, King R has to be on point with his positioning because I'm pretty sure for ASC, they really want to focus down the Wisp because he's going to be the main target in also keeping a lot of these Power Rangers heroes alive. So if the Morphling gets jumped, he's going to get tethered, bottled. If the Storm gets jumped, he's going to be the one to get tethered, bottled. But we are going to have a Moonlight Shadow. Is this gank going to actually work for ASC? There is going to be the Snowball soon. Biggie's going to hang on to it. No one on the side of Power Rangers knows this is coming, but they are going to back off anyway. King R, though, he's going to be in the trees. He will tether, so that's going to be a missed opportunity, unfortunately. There was a sentry ward, I didn't realize, but there was a sentry ward in lane. So that's going to be a foiled gank coming out from 4ASC.
And there was an observer ward on the high ground. Everything about that was spotted by the Power Rangers side. So they were even a little bit slow on the retreat. I thought maybe they were going to get picked off. They lose the tower up top, Power Rangers, as the Mirana does get the deny out from that Enigma. But down towards bottom, there is a Morphling potentially on this lane. First of all, it's just a mag Morphling. Is he going to jump into here? No, he's not, but still, Shocho is level 6. He's more or less ready to fight, especially diving towards the soft heroes in the back. Joker up towards top is once again going to force Trixie out. This game would be going so much better for 4ASC if this Mirana was not a Mirana. If it was someone who could actually use farm and not get crushed by the Enigma in the meantime, then it'll be great. But Mirana with Phase Boots, Aquila, I mean, that's fine and everything like that, but her late game power, the impact of her farm is going to be rather limited right now. We have a smoke up from the 2 supports of 4ASC, and they might be running into a tree and protector. However, this tree is invisible. Detection check, there is 1 sentry on the Venge. I don't think that's going to be enough, and, well, it's definitely not going to be enough because Unnamed is no longer around. So smoke foiled by the Power Ranger side, although I'm pretty sure they didn't even know about it.
Yeah, so that was pretty much a lucky break really for the tree just to be in that position and to also break the smoke. I'm pretty sure it just disoriented the two supports on 4 anchors. They're probably thinking, oh, there's a hero here, and then they go up the hill. Where is it? We can't find it. We cannot snowball. So no kill, unfortunately, going in the way of 4ASC. Do they actually have any more smokes left? They've been through a couple so far. They used Moonlight Shadow as well for a couple of the ganks, so it's not mostly smokes.
Yeah, they got a couple smokes left. Mag is also holding on to one. Not really sure when he's going to use it, or if he's actually going to use it himself. He might just ship it over to the Tusk or Venge and just have them work with that. But we have a Midas actually picked up from Joker. It's a pretty early one at that. 13 minutes in for an offlane Morphling who's already had maybe not the cleanest time up towards top lane. But he already has a Soul Ring, he already has his bottle, lots of intermediate items for him. And now he's going to be building up some really heavy hitting items. BKB, Mech, Blink Dagger, all great for the Enigma, but if you get a lot of farm, Aghanim Scepter hurts like hell.
I wouldn't suggest it as a first pick item though. Maybe
maybe
as that third or fourth. Yeah, third or fourth Aghanim's pick up. I can definitely see it being picked up there for Power Rangers. I kind of feel like it's a mech game this game, just because if you have that extra sustain, yes, the Wisp can carry it, but I feel like if you want to grab it earlier, just grab it on the Enigma, grab something else on the Wisp. He's already got a bottle and urn, so he's pretty much good for sustain. The mech, it'll be a bonus for King R, but it's not going to come up any soon, so if they want to go for that, they can put it onto Joker. Otherwise, he can just go for a Blink Dagger. I actually missed out on the solo kill. Was that an Omni Slash? Yes, it was. Simatumba Man getting a solo kill on the poor Treant Protector, who just wanted EXP.
Fade time of Nature's Guys is so long, especially when you're being aggressed upon by a Juggernaut. So there are no sentries here for the Dire side. That could have been a close escape from the Treant. I feel like if he put up Living Armor instead, he would have been fine, but up towards top, Nymphy is in biz. He's going to land a very easy RP into Joker, leap forward for the stars, and Joker is very easily going to be brought down. Arrow being used, although unnecessarily so. They'll kill off the Enigma and make the first rotation of the Mag so much so worth it for 4ASC. So nice little pick off for them, but Morphling, Storm Spirit, those are the heroes that you really have to focus. Shosh, though, has his first Oblivion Staff up, and considering the lane he was in, that's actually a good amount of farm from him. Relocate is also up.
Yeah, if you look at the Morphling in the mid lane, he's going to go for Skadi first. He's got an ultimate orb, and he's been getting the farm for it. So this Morphling, he's been pretty much unchecked, and they're going to go for the relocate gank onto poor Kara. So that's going to be no longer a Vengeful Spirit. Easy pick up there. They went with the relocate as well with Sashto, so their Storm Spirit just going to be there to grab the easy assist. Matama Man, they're going to come in. They will be able to get out in time, except for the Morphling. He's just kind of juking around the trees. He's got the waveform available. He wants the tower, but it gets denied by the Tusk. Now he's going to have the waveform out. There is no Omni Slash available, but there is going to be Joker here. Now, is there going to be the callback? There's no callback. Never mind. They will go for the call. There is the black hole. They will connect on the 2 heroes. So that's going to be 2 heroes down for 4 ASC. Zip 4. They want to go after the Tusk as well, and they will get him. 3 heroes down on the side of 4 ASC. Power Rangers, they lose nobody. Great stuff by Power Rangers. Their draft is really working well so far for them.
And for ASC, that expenditure of RP on the Enigma up towards top, all well and good, but then if you get into a massive team fight like that without your RP, without your Omni Slash, and without your Mirana, what the hell are you going to do about that? Power Rangers reinforced pretty darn well. In fact, the IO came back into that fight a lot faster than I really thought, but they just made a beeline after getting yanked back from the relocate, and then they just made it happen. So Power Rangers now taking a tower as well. It's still not going to be the most towers going in either direction, but Storm Spirit getting some blood, and I think he has a second Oblivion Staff. Oh yes, his completed Orchid actually. That's a 17-minute Orchid. It's not exactly the fastest, but again, considering the lane, it's a lot faster than it really should have been. And then, of course, we had that Morphling who's going to go full in on the late game. I thought with the farm he was getting, he would have gone for that shotgun that we were talking about earlier, but maybe shotgun a little bit later, because right now he's got the double orbs, and that spells Skadi. So he's going to be a really late game powerhouse. Granted, for ASC, have yet to really kick into gear with this farming Juggernaut, and Powers level 3, Matuba Man can do a lot of damage moving forward, especially if he has the confidence of an Aegis. But yeah, that's going to have to do a lot for 4ASC. They will get a free one, though. With the Midas Armor from Venge, the Empower from Mag, and the Healing Ward from the Jug, there is going to be no contest here from Power Rangers at all.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised there's no observer wards down in this side of the river for Power Rangers because you just have to expect it. You just have to know that Roshan is going to go down to a Vengeful Spirit Juggernaut combo. So that's going to be an easy Aegis going in the way of 4 anchors. What are they going to do with it though? I think the Tumber Man wants to go for a nice easy pickup onto Slash. Never mind, I don't think he knows he's there, but there's going to be the jump onto the Tusk. This is going to be a quick kill for our Storm Spirit. He will go for the pull. He does get the kill, but he's got very little mana to work with, and he's actually being chopped down by a Tumber Man, but actually that was very unlucky. He jumps onto the creep, but never mind, he does finish off the Wisp in time. Now he is going to be under the cover of Moonlight Shadow, but Sludge he was very close to him, but he was thinking, okay, we don't have detection, we cannot chase this Juggernaut. So 1 for 1, support for support, relatively even, but in all honesty, I'd probably say the Wisp is the better trade-off there for 4AC.
Yeah, the level 2 Omni Slash with the attack speed given by the Yasha Treads and Mask of Madness gives him so many extra slashes within that duration of the ultimate, and even with a couple of unfortunate bounces, he did get to where he wanted to be at the end of it. There was potentially going to be a little bit of a scuffle over in the mid lane, but Power Rangers decided to pull back from that. Really, this Morphling, though he is going for a big item and he is getting quite a bit of farm, isn't really ready to fight yet, and won't be ready to fight even after he grabs that Scotty. The slow is nice, but that's about all he'll offer. Trixie gonna get caught in the overgrowth, has a leap out, but he's gonna leap right into a relocate. Here comes Shacho and King R, ball lightning forward, silenced as well into Trixie. They'll lose the Enigma on the bottom lane before they get the Mirana kill, making it a 1 for 1, but it's a pretty even 1 for 1. Morphling gonna get a little bit closer to that Scotty. In fact, he's got it already on his person, or flying out to him rather. So Morphling is going to have that item, and that's going to be really difficult for AC to deal with, especially when Sacho jumps in deep onto Kara. Waveform forward will get the kill for, again, this Morphling. And now with an Eye of Scotty active, sitting at 1700 HP, can drop all of that down to about 1000 and increases damage output in the process. Here comes Boogie, here comes Nemphy. Snowball in onto the Treant, not really the target you want to go for, but it should be a pretty easy kill. Waveform through onto all 3 as Unnamed is just trying to kite them around. Living Armor now up as Boogie's taking a beating from the Morphling. Adaptive Strike will get that kill. Now into a man fight with Matuba Man. This Juggernaut has an Aegis, and with the RP, Morphling still has Replicate out until he runs out of duration. Now he's got a Waveform out and hope for the best. He's gonna try to TP. No Omni Slash, no Skewer, no nothing. And the Morphling survives. Strength Morph, Living Armor, so many defensive tools for this Morphling, not to mention the potential for Io, but Io and Shacho, they're actually looking somewhere else. They see Nemphy, who just uses Force Staff, and it wouldn't really help him anyway because it's a Storm Spirit. He'll get jumped and very easily brought down as well. 13 versus 9, and Power Rangers are just farming heads all across the map.
Yeah, so now that the Storm Spirit and this Morphling has come online, not only are they very hard to kill, they are incredibly mobile heroes, and you are going up against a Wisp. So for 4AC to actually kill any of these heroes, they have to commit a lot of resources. They have to commit the RP, they have to go for Omni Slash, they're going to have to go for everything that they've got to try and grab those kills. Heck, if Trixie can get a very good arrow for some of these kills for his team, then that would be a really good tool for them. But Trixie on the Mirana, I feel like the Mirana just hasn't really done anything this game aside from just providing the Moonlight Shadow for his team, and I guess they got a couple of arrows in, but yeah, the Mirana not really impacting the game at all.
And at the same time for ASC, they try to go for a kill on the Morphling in the mid lane, but between the Replicate out, the Waveform, and he now has had that Ghost Scepter, so eventually there's going to be a shotgun, and just being able to block out all the physical damage, of which 4SC primarily are, there's no chance that they actually get the kill on the Morphling unless the mag is there with the RP, so they waste a lot of time there, and as you said, the Mirana just hasn't really done anything for her team. Now up towards top, Nemphy is in a little bit of trouble. He will get out of there, but getting roughed up by the Morphling with just a couple of hits. Here comes Boogie around the corner, but a level 8 Tusk can't do jack here, so don't really know why he's posturing up here anyway. This game is getting pretty out of control for 4ASC right now. They need RPs, or they need this Mirana to land some sort of miracle arrow, but I don't even know if Trixie's been going for them. I haven't seen him chuck a long arrow, let alone hit one. He does have a Hand of Midas, so late game Mirana, it's kind of strong, but it's definitely not the most threatening hero in the game.
Yeah, I'm surprised he actually went for a Midas considering their position as a team, but cute play there from Sasha just to go for the aggressive kind of ruffle him up, but he just leaves because he saw the TP come in. The TP even gets cancelled as well, so they don't bring everyone in down to the bottom lane. Trixie just going to bottle himself back up and head towards that middle lane. We still have our Treant Protector kind of walking around the trees in Viz, trying to give his team as much intel as possible. They're probably gearing themselves up for another relocate because that is off cooldown, and the Wisp is up top with the Morphling as well. So they can definitely go for a kill if they want to, but they just need vision for the moment. They did get a couple of their wards dewarded, so that's a little unfortunate for them, but well, for ASC to really win the game, they have to deny this vision and they have to prevent the ganks from happening. Boogie, he really wants to kill. I think the Wisp is a much easier target. They do see him. There's the snowball, and Trixie's going to be there with the follow-up arrow as well. So that's going to be a nice kill onto the Wisp. Morphling, though, he's got the relocate. Sorry, not the relocate. He's got the replicate, so he's just going to be able to go back into the mid lane with his illusion. So nice kill there for 4 anchors, but they're going to need a lot more than just a Wisp kill.
Yeah, especially since they just ran out of Aegis timer as well. So as nice as it is to get the kill on the IO, it took pretty much the entire team, and that just meant Shotchill was farming down towards bottom. Morphling very easily got out of there, and he's closing in on Shotgun very rapidly as well, only about 1,000 gold away from that one. Also, the Treant Protector is going to spot out Machiumi Man coming in. He has an Omni Slash, but you really don't want to use it on a Morphling. Now the Overgrowth onto 3. There is a Manta Style up on the Juggernaut, so he will break out of those vines and get himself to safety. Overgrowth now down the drain, but only a minute cooldown, not going to be too bad for the Treant, as bottom lane is taking a lot of heat for ASC. Need an RP to land here, but best case scenario, they hit an RP on 2. Not too bad, but I don't really know if they have enough follow-up damage to actually get those kills, especially when I got this one is right around the corner. I think 4SC will defend their tower, but still, it's a lot of farm for Power Rangers, and they're going to feel pretty comfortable just split pushing the entire map. That's what you could do when you have a Morphling and an IO and a Storm Spirit. 4SC needs so many more heroes if they're going to deal with this effectively.
Interestingly enough, we get an Atos picked up on the Enigma. What are your thoughts on an Atos on a Midas Enigma? What's the purpose, do you think, of this? Is it just to kite all the melee heroes on the side of 4ASC?
Yeah, probably. I think it's a fine item to have on Enigma, but it's, again, not really that first item that you want to grab. If you were going to go for that first item, maybe a Blink Dagger to help your Black Holes. BKB isn't fantastic in this game, as 4SC have so many tools at dealing with the BKB at Enigma. Swap, Tusk, Punch, RP, and even the Omni Slash mini stun. So, yeah, that's probably not the best, but a mech would also be decent. Power Rangers are lacking that item right now, and well, no one else is going to buy it, it seems, so you might as well buy it on the Enigma. Either way, what's done is done. Maybe he's going to get some value off of it, but not if he just continues on with this split push strategy. If that was really the game plan, then I would love to see a Necro Book on the Enigma. That does quite a bit of work when you're just trying to go for a split push.
Oh, the tree! He just wanted to come in for a deny, but the tower went down. He continued with the TP, and he just got jumped on by 4ASC, so good stuff there. Poor tree. Just going to sit in the fountain and twiddle his thumbs. Up top there, we're going to have a little bit of action. They tried to go onto the Morphling, but Matamba Man's taking a lot of damage from the Morphling, and the Wisp is going to be there with the balls to finish off the Jug. Even though the healing ward was there, it's not quite enough to heal him up, but Trixie's going to come in. He wants to try and throw an arrow onto the Morphling, but he's got the replicate, so he's going to be fine and dandy. Will Trixie get the arrow onto King R, though? Looks like he's not even going to go for an attempt. So unfortunately, they lose their Juggernaut for nobody up top, but they did get the tree kill in the middle lane, I suppose.
Yeah, it's a consolation prize, I'm sure. There's not really that much of value there. Trixie, as well as Kara, they're going to run to Shotch, though. That's not really a hero you want to mess with, because he's a soul booster. He's very tanky, difficult to kill. Even with like a 4-second arrow, they will struggle to put enough damage into the Storm Spirit to kill him off, because, well, he's tanky. Also, he has Morphling right behind him. For 4SC, they tried to go for the IO up on that top lane. That's kind of the play that they have to make. If they're going to kill off the Morphling, it'll be because he doesn't have relocate backup. But even if he doesn't have relocate, Morphling has the replicate, and he has a shotgun, which almost killed off the Juggernaut 100-0. If the waveform landed, then it definitely would have. But Morphling's sitting on a cannon right now, and Juggernaut has 1700 HP, by far the most HP on his team. Everyone else is going to get 100-0'd by this Morphling's Ethereal Blade.
Yeah, and 4AC, they ran this draft, and it's supposed to come online a lot quicker than Power Rangers, but because they put a lot of emphasis on Desatro and just pretty much ignored the Morphling, this is what you get. You get a really big Morphling who all of a sudden is a powerhouse. I missed a kill onto poor Boogie. I don't know what happened, but I think he just got jumped on by Satchlo.
Yeah, it's just Storm Spirit stuff. If you're all alone as Tusk, the Tusk with no HP items, you're screwed. Hell, even if he did have, like, 2 bracers, I'm pretty sure he would have died anyway, because the Storm Spirit, he's closing in on a Bloodstone. He'll have that one very shortly. He'll have then infinite mana, more or less. especially with the IO on his team as well. So you can't escape from him as a Tusk. You could buy some time at the Snowball, but that's about it. Kira gonna drop a sentry. He did see the Treant Protector. Now they see him again, but they don't really have the heroes in the right place. Now Joker's coming in, plus the Morphling. Kira's caught in the river, and it's gonna be both the supports dying at pretty much the exact same place. Note to 4ASC, do not go here. It's a bad place to be.
He actually put the sentry board up to try and catch the tree so that the Juggernaut wouldn't have been able to go for a solo Omni-Slash kill, but because he was out of range of that, he just had to make a retreat and he just got jumped on by everybody. So unfortunately the supports, they're trying to make the plays down bottom though, so that's not bottom, that's middle lane, but never mind. Trixie does get a kill under the tree, but actually we're going to be seeing a little bit more action down towards the bottom section. Matumba Man was pulled up by Suchlo, but no kill whatsoever. Roshan is up though. And looks like for ASC, they want to grab this Roshan for themselves just because Power Rangers, again, they don't have vision down the bottom lane. They never have any vision.
Well,
What is this?
Even if they did have vision, up towards top, the Morphling and the IO, they're split pushing, as well they should be, but they don't have a relocate up, so they couldn't join this fight even if they want to. However, Shotshell's going to find Boogie. Here comes the RP from Nemphy, which will be dodged by Shotshell. He'll look at the Soul Burn, kill off the Tusk, and then he's going to put some damage into Nemphy. The Roshan is going to die, but over towards top, Kira is going to get brought down as well. Earn charge, that's lethal. Matumba Man's going to arrive. Into the spin he goes. That's not really going to save him versus this Morphling's right clicks. The tower has already been dropped, and now they're going to go for the Melee Raxes. The Melee Rax is down. Waveform forward. They're going to go catch up to Matumba Man, and Shotshell's going to kill off the Mirana as well. Omni-Slash in the creeps just to buy himself a little bit of time, but it's not even going to buy himself that much. Moonlight Shadow might give him a little bit of cover. He has the Aegis as well. Dust is out. Kingar will take the Aegis out with those balls. And now Morphling, he's going to wait for his ultimate to cool down. Blink forward, Skewer will catch the Morphling mid-wave form, and they will take down the Morphling. Black Hole now, though, onto 2, as Shotcho is going to let loose on his damage, focusing onto Trixie and Matumba Man both. Trixie is going to die to the Soul Burn, swap out, not going to do it, and Nemphy now going to take quite a bit of damage on his retreat. Shotcho running low on mana, however, is going to get some living armor and should be fine to survive, even through a magic missile, which he won't dodge. Shards are there. Snowball is going to commit the Tusk and Venge very, very far away from the rest of their team. It will fail to actually connect on Shotcho. Now he's going to turn around and destroy Boogie with a 2-man overgrowth from Unnamed, as well as Joker coming in with the Midnight Pulse. Kira is doomed to fall right now, and Matumba Man just has to turn around and book it. He'll go really, really quickly. Shotcho doesn't have enough mana to give chase here before ASC just get completely mopped up, and there's still 4 heroes from Power Rangers in their base. If Io gets 100 mana, he could teleport back and then relocate the Morphling in, and he will do just that. Morphling's gonna be up in 20 seconds. Mirana won't be up for another 40. No RP for another 10. No Omni-Slash for another 40. And Power Rangers just took an immense trade. You could have your Aegis. Power Rangers will just take your Raxes.
Just complete and utter dominance by Power Rangers this game. And we thought they were going to do weirdly, but... well, complete outplay though. They definitely played phenomenally, even though Sacho was so pressured during the early game. He's suddenly relevant just because the Morphling has been able to buy space for him, even though, and as well as Joker on the offlane Enigma as well. Power Rangers just so good at creating space for their teammates that just need that farm. And actually we might see a bit of trouble zip in from Sasha. He wants to pull onto Nemphy. That's going to be the Magnus. He's silenced up. He's got the RP, but he's going to be able to get out safely. Morphling though, he's just going to blow up Matumba Man. Boogie is more going to be following up with his Tombstone. There's 2 heroes in the base so on the side of 4AFC. Now Boogie finally goes down. Arrow, they will connect onto the Morphling, but there's no follow-up damage. Sasha, though, he's going to go balls deep for these kills. He will manage to miss the stun, so that's going to be unfortunate for Kira. And the Wisp, he's just going to heal up his teammates back to not full HP, but to a relatively healthy state. There's no buybacks on these 2 heroes as well on the side of 4ASC. They need the Jug for the Omni-Slash. They have RP available. They just used the Moonlight Shadow. Trixie can be jumped on by Sasha. He's got a BKB, so it doesn't really matter. Never mind, that's going to be Nemphy's. He does finish off the Storm Spirit, but they already committed the reverse polarity. They're going to lose Nemphy as well. This is a complete team wipe on the side of 4ASC. They just can't defend their base, and that will be the GG call as well. Power Rangers completely cleaning this game up.
Yeah, you wouldn't really expect it from their draft, and really I do think that 4ASC did have a better draft. It was just in that bottom lane where they failed to be as aggressive as they could have been. There were so many opportunities where they were sitting around and looking for some opportunities, some clear-cut kills where they could have gone in and maybe gotten a couple of messier kills. But for right now, guys, Power Rangers is going to take Game 1 in the best of 3 here in the Yard G2A Festival. I'm Mikelorus. I've been joined by Danelie, and we'll be right back for Game 2, and hopefully the waiting screens aren't too messed up, but I wouldn't get my hopes up there.